What is up, crypto hackers? Welcome back to another episode of Hack Crypto, where we hack our cryptocurrency, blockchain, and NFT education. If you guys are brand new here, we cover all the basics of the metaverse, NFTs, and crypto in general. If that sounds good, slap a like on this video, helps get it out to more people, and don't forget to be subscribed with the notification bell on. You just have to click that little tiny bell. On this episode, I'm going to be going over Amateur Guardians of Ethereum, also known as AGE. Now, this is the world's first hold and earn NFT. Now, I'll get into that in a little bit, but everything here on the channel, I try to bring to you guys as something that is innovative, that I find that I think is very, very groundbreaking. Now, a lot of technology swirling around. My inbox is crazy right now. And now that I can get back to publishing some videos on the channel for you guys, diving into a lot of these projects, so much has changed over the past 3 to 4 months. And one of the coolest parts about this is a lot of composability with NFTs. Things are being put into them, minted, and creating some value there besides the kind of artistic front end of a lot of these static 2D images. Now, one of the exciting things that I'm going to get into with AGE is around the values being put back into these NFTs the more they're transacted. Now, what that means is each time one of these NFTs is bought or sold on a secondary market, Ethereum is added to that NFT. It sounds kind of bizarre to a lot of people, I'm sure, that are watching this for the first time. They're like, okay, how is that even possible that Ethereum could be added back into these NFTs when they're being sold on secondary marketplaces? But the idea here is that these smart contracts, it's flexing the functionality once again. And that's why I like to bring new projects to you guys that have really cool, innovative concepts here. Now, something like this could happen with real estate in the future. For example, the more that a house is bought and sold, you can see exactly on the ledger who has bought and sold it, and it just adds value to it over time. Now, the amount of Ethereum that could change in the future, like let's say I add a $25,000 flooring across my entire real estate investment property, that could be then added into the NFT that is the real estate. And I think that this is something that, I've just sort of been brainstorming around while digging into AGE, but it is cool to see projects like this coming out that build a community first, and then they kind of roll out these really interesting features over time. Full disclaimer, this video is sponsored. I reached out to them and said, hey, this is some innovative stuff you're doing with the DAO mixed with the value of ETH being added into each one of these NFTs. Let me do a video on this, and they agreed. So this is a sponsored review. I always like to be transparent about that. And I love the fact that I have the ability to go out and find innovative concepts like this, bring them to you guys, and I try to bring you the best ones. Now, you have to do your own research, of course. Don't just trust some guy on the internet talking about this, but definitely check all the links in the description below to do your own research and figure out more about AGE. One of the really cool components here that I'm going to get into when I go onto their website to show you guys everything they got going on is that in order to get that Ethereum, you have to burn the NFT. So if an NFT is gaining, let's say, a huge amount of momentum, it's been bought and sold 100 times on OpenSea, for example, what I can do is I could just go to their site and burn that NFT and get that Ethereum. And it's basically like a piggy bank is how they describe it on their site, where it accumulates value over time as it's bought and sold. The more frequency that it is bought and sold, the more value it's accruing, like a piggy bank. It's just being added to it. And then in order to get that piggy bank or that money out of the piggy bank, you got to smash it and you got to burn that NFT to extract that value. Maybe you go back and buy more of these AGEs and market them or something, and then get more people to buy and sell them, accrue more value, and then burn it. And I think that that's a really fun comparison of the piggy bank, smashing and burning being very similar adjectives there. But I'm going to jump onto their site, show you guys what they're working on, and I think that the hold to earn concepts are really unique. Amateur Guardians of Ethereum is a 10,000 unique NFT collection where they have a bunch of different traits, expression, headwear, outfits, and more. I'm going to get into this a little bit deeper, but the token-backed NFT is what I really am fascinated by. I think that that's a cool feature that I have not seen before. I think that there are going to be some really unique features just based on this intrinsic value being added into the NFT as it transacts with the Ethereum in there. I think that's really unique. but the exclusive access is quite cool. So I'm going to jump onto the site so we can get a deeper dive into what this project is all about. So from their homepage, you can see they are doing the mint, and this is where you can actually lock up the NFTs. Now, like I said before, with the ETH being added to these NFTs, this is called TB-NFT. Every time a TB NFT is being traded, the amount of tokens stored increases. By building a symbiotic relationship between crypto tokens and the NFT artworks, we're experimenting at combining token value and intrinsic value of artworks for the first time. Now, this is a really cool initiative. I haven't seen this done before, and I like the concept of ETH being backed in the NFT each time it's transacted. Very clever concept. Now, that is going to allow for the passive income. Now, if you provide liquidity, of course, you're going to get some passive income, as I've covered on the channel in the past. The DAO concept of AGE is very powerful because people are going to be able to vote, and that comes in right here under this diagram. So when you become a holder, you have the AGE holders getting the passive revenue from other DeFi protocols, as well as from providing liquidity. And from the DAO, they can put in their votes. They can propose, decide on investment strategies. And you can see they have the invest protocol where they're generating that passive income. Now, this part here is where the 10% of mint payment goes into the vault, and then it's backing those NFTs. So the 10% of mint goes back into those NFTs from the vault, to repeat that. So everybody understands where that ETH is coming from that's going into the NFTs that are being transacted. Now, Mr. Dope here, as that person goes in and does the initial mint, they can then also just go and trade on the secondary market. But when they do that, you can see that the 3% of each transaction goes back into the AGE vault. And then once again, it goes back to those newly minted NFTs. So it's a really cool kind of flywheel there where people are minting. If they want to go sell, they can, and that value gets pulled from fees back into the vault, which then goes back into the NFTs, the AGE ones. So very clever concept. I like the way that it's designed. Now, only can something like this be done through smart contracts. A human sitting there sending ETH back and forth during each transaction just wouldn't happen, or US dollars wouldn't happen. Nothing like this would happen. It has to be done through microtransactions and through these smaller, transactions taking place on the chain, because this can happen instantly. It's instantly settled, which isn't something that can be accomplished outside of blockchain. Now, the TB NFT concepts here, they lay it out as the piggy bank that I mentioned before. I really like this because burning and smashing a piggy bank to get the funds out is a really cool parallel. Now, once again, to go through this of intersecting the NFT world and the DeFi world, burning an NFT means that you are completely getting rid of it forever. To clarify, I've gotten that question before. And with the more an NFT is being traded, more ETH is being stored behind it. You know, I can't quite think of another reason why you would want to pull out the ETH other than to use it in another, staking protocol or something like that. But ultimately, this is a very clever concept, and I don't really know why people would burn it. But of course, that functionality is there for people that get an asset that's been traded, let's say 1,000 times, and it has all this ETH from the AGE vault put into it. Maybe you buy it at a discount and then you want to just liquidate and burn it and get that ETH out. That is potentially a strategy you could do here. Buy more of them or buy something else. It's a way to think through it. Now, the 10% of minting fee going to the AGE NFT, like I mentioned before. Let's see, 10% is establishing the DAO, 30% going to the airdrop, and 30% going through to the early NFTs evenly. Prizes and contests will be airdropped to early contributors, of course. 60% is the community fund. That is a substantial amount going to the community. On top of that, 1% of trading volume on secondary markets will go to the community fund forever. That is a very smart way of doing it. Now, a charitable donation. I see this in a lot of projects that are really trying to bring in people that, either make regular charitable contributions every year to offset their tax liabilities, things like that. But this is a very cool way of doing it. I've enjoyed seeing that be part of the roadmaps of a lot of these projects because charity is important. Giving is important. Now, the liquidity pool that I mentioned before, this is something that, everybody needs to do their own research on, figuring out, where the best liquidity pools are. This one is something they're going to have to establish. Now, the hold to earn features. This is in Q2 of 2022, which is the time of recording this. The hold to earn features will enable Guardian holders to earn passive income from experimental DeFi features of AGE. Every Guardian starts earning passive income based on the token amount backed and the holding time of the AGE NFT. So the longer you hold it, the more passive income you make. This is a similar mechanism I've seen in a couple of other projects. We're open to discussing more innovative ideas about DeFi plus DeFi. So there are going to be a lot of really clever initiatives coming out over the next year or two. I've talked to a few projects about the intersection of NFTs and DeFi because you have basically new smart contracts with a visualization that can now be used in different ways. And in this way, for example, you're backing something with ETH. With the DeFi transaction, it's a little bit bland. You're just dealing with what you would consider a normal bank or financial structure of some kind. When you add something like a visualization, it just makes it more human, makes it more fun, makes it more playful and easier to approach, I found. And I've heard that from a couple of other people. Now, I will be curious to see what protocols they're getting involved in and the experimental DeFi features that they're rolling out. That is to be determined. We will keep evolving our NFTs to bring more creative momentum to the project. And that is, once again, at the intersection of NFTs and DeFi, as well as generative art. So the team, King BTC, follow them on Twitter. I follow them even before I reached out about this project. And you can see they have their engineers and their creative director. Very cool project. Really liking the intersection here of DeFi and NFTs and the whole concept of the piggy bank being parallel to burning the NFT and accruing value. That is it for my overview of the Amateur Guardians of Ethereum /AGE. This is a really interesting project. I do like the fact that they are taking 3% of each transaction, putting it into the AGE vault, and then that is allowing the DAO to actually make some investments. I think that is the future of how a lot of these projects are going to operate. And I just overall really like the idea that transactions are putting ETH back into these NFTs and it's backing the art that is on them. It's a really unique concept. I like the way that they've approached it through a game theory perspective where people are actually holding, contracting the supply by holding those NFTs, staking, and the more velocity that each one of those assets has, they're able to actually accrue more value themselves as the assets. So the more popular ones are then actually getting that ETH put into them, which is very clever. Haven't seen that done before. And I really like the idea of DAO and that unique concept of ETH being added. So that is it for this episode. If you guys like this video, slap a like. If you want to be subscribed for more of these kind of high-level overview videos, definitely hit that subscribe button. And I will see you guys on the next episode of Hack Crypto.